Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Noding. In this video, I will kind of direct our attention to the 3D typography. 3D typography or 3D type is one area that actually I'm really interested in. When I was studying as a graphic designer, I often pay attention to font. Even when that time I just work using Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. Font and working with typography design is really interesting. Can be for poster or these days for motion graphics and 3D animations. 3D has a lot of area to explore in terms of type design. For example, if you start with a like a simple font like Helvetica and then you turn it into 3D, there's a lot to it. And you can be doing typography that's more simple. It's more like a text with a beautiful texture, or some of them are more typography. You can do a lot, and especially with Blender, it's really one area that's everyone should look at some point. It's good for practicing both typography and tools like animation nodes or sphere chalk. Is kind of perfect for it. Like if you create kind of design that looks like this, how would you recreate it using Blender? That's kind of always my questions. And because there's a lot of ideas here. Even things like that's a good example. Kind of more abstract looking. That's kind of perfect for procedural kind of design. Some of them may require a little bit of research, maybe using particles, anything, even this kind of stuff. It might be able, you might be able to print it out as well. So like that, if you have access to 3D printing, this is like perfect example. Today I'm gonna have a look how we can create like abstract text using the Elfnor 3 generator. Okay, so I will be using this Google Fonts, and I just download one. I choose one that's a little bit thick. I downloaded this Titan one, so I already downloaded it. I'm gonna close this because the font in Blender you usually get the like the default font, but that's not usually very interesting. But I just download one that's really thick like this, and with thick font like this we can always play around with it, maybe remesh it and then make it more abstract, those kind of stuff. Okay, so let's explore. So text, usually in Blender, Shift A, and then you can create an object. And text object in Blender, I always like the text object in Blender. It's really quite robust. Unlike other software where the text is just, it doesn't have anything in it. Let's see, what should I write here? Animation nodes, maybe neuro, whatever. I'm just interested with that word today. Neuro, and then this is the default text font. It's a B font, maybe Blender font. Let's change it to the font that I just downloaded from Google. It's a Titan 1, and it's looking like that. Neuro, so it's a bit fat. Every text font have its own characteristic. Like this looks like a very playful kind of text. It's fat and it's a little bit childish kind of text, but we're gonna soon turn it into something else. So RX and then rotate it 90 degree. Oops, minus 90. So that's the beginning of our neuro text So I will be using Verchalk and the tree generator thing. So this is Verchalk and Euro typography. Alright, so okay, the text is not rotated 90 degrees. Okay, now it's good. So as we know already, text is a special object in Blender. Unless you turn it into mesh, you can't do much with it. Yeah, I mean you can extrude it and then you can add depth and increase resolutions. You know, you get like a 3D text like that. For a lot of poster design, this is kind of enough, you know. And you give it some nice color and nice lighting, and then use like a cool camera angle that can make a poster, and you can change it to anything. Spread chalk or any kind of type of writing, and the effect is live. Yeah, that's something. But here, if I want to show you something, if you just turn this into a mesh, this is a live type, live text object in Blender. If we just convert it into a mesh, soon you will get something like this. So it's a mesh, but the topology is not very good. There's a better way. So back to the original text. If you actually go to modifier and then go to remesh, you can kind of get a better mesh out of this. Normally it will work. Yeah, so you have to uncheck remove disconnected pieces, and then here you can remesh the text until it's looking okay. That's kind of much better than before. It has a nice topology in it. You can smooth the shading, so that's definitely better for us to work with inside Virtual. So that kind of look. So now I just need to hit apply. I wonder if I should work like this. Probably gonna work like this. Lower resolutions because I'm doing a recording. Apply. I hit apply. It says I cannot be applied because this is a text object. What you need to do is just convert it to mesh, and then you have a better, nice, better looking text object right there. If you go to edit mode, you can see the mesh is much nicer in terms of topology. I'm gonna save file, save as. Okay, save. Let's now put this on this over there. With this guy, I'm gonna just turn it into wire. I can draw all edges or keep it like that. It's up to you. I'm gonna draw all edges. So this is our text. We're gonna work with it. I'm gonna scale it a little bit, and let's work with this guy. Control A, apply location, rotation, and scale. Now we are good. This is gonna be the beginning of our new raw kind of looking text. So let's switch to compositing. This is let's turn on Virtual, new, and then we're gonna use the tree generator script. That's can be really handy for what we are doing. Let's open and grab the Virtual space tree Elfnor, and that's the tree generator. Open it. This is the script. We got it inside Blender. We don't need to see it anymore. Let's just grab it here and then click here, and we have the node. This is the tree generator. We already know what it's doing. So if I test it real quick, viewer draw and plug in the vertices and the edges. currently we got nothing, but soon we can see something. Let's hide this. Something is slowing down. We need a vector input as the starting points to generate the tree. So it's gonna be 0, 0, 0. The end vertices is gonna be our font here, our text. 3D type object mesh in objects in. We can grab the object, select, and then plug in the vertices, and we should actually see something by now. We're not seeing anything. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Maybe I need to apply the matrix. Matrix apply and plug that in. We have this guy. So sphere chop seems to be working. Integer object is not iterable. It's complaining about something. Maximum branches. Let me try 20. Let's reload and then viewer draw. It's not selecting this guy yet, so sorry about that. My mistake. Yeah. Now here we can see something's happening. Plug in the edges. Now we can see the edges and the points. We are now good. Let's see, maybe I don't want to select this guy, so I'll go to outliner and this is our text mesh. I'm gonna turn off the selection so I cannot select it in 3D anymore. But we have this guy. Okay, that's the tree generated using this tree generator. We can have higher number and we'll grow. Let's have like small number for now, maybe 30, and we can drag this thing around, and right away we can see the effects, which is really cool. Now obviously if we're dragging the vector position, the start vertices like this, it's not really fun to do, so maybe I will create an empty, and we're gonna use this empty to control the position of this starting vertices. Yeah, let's do that first. Object in. Let's grab this empty, get selection, and here we're gonna take the transform position of these objects from the matrices. Okay, because vertices, edges, polygons, this object doesn't have any of this mesh data. We just want the transform. So matrix. We want to separate the matrix, or matrix in. That's the one we need. Or matrix out. In this is virtual, so it's different from animation nodes. You can grab a position, plug this into that guy. Now this object is controlling the position of the start vertices for our tree. And you might notice what I just did. I'm moving the timeline in order for SphereChop to update. So now if I move it here, I move unmove the timeline again, and that will update, that will force update the virtual calculations in this case. So yeah, so that's basically what we can have. There's a couple of ways we can approach this neural thing. First of all, as you can see, as I'm moving this guy, it's keep generating the tree. That might be enough for what you, depending on what you're trying to make. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe because currently we have like a mesh, like a shell of this typography. So if we are doing it like this, then the tree is kind of gonna be, it's a little bit like an ivy. It's gonna try to cover the mesh. But as you can see here, it's only doing it from that original point. That's kind of okay, depending on what you're trying to do. Really, you can move this guy and kind of placing it in the mesh, and then you update it and you have a different design. This is also kind of alright, you know. Another way is to generate particles inside this text, and then from there you kind of generate something that looks like a your neural or something inside your brain, like a neural kind of complex network. I will do, let's see, I'm gonna do it like this first for now. Kind of making this kind of spider web looking design. This is all the default. So this is one way you can approach it. So you can bake it. Once you bake, you know, you're gonna have something like that. And this is can be real time depending on your computer speed. And I tried it. It's actually really fast. So if I really want, I can keep the playback on and then moving the locator, and as I'm doing that, I can kind of bake it. Probably it's too slow while I'm recording, so I'm gonna kind of doing it the slow manual way. So the whole process can be automated actually, but I like to kind of slow down and just doing it like this because it gives a little bit of control to the artist, you know. Maybe you want to give this tool to someone else. And I'm updating it by moving the frame. So I move the empty, and then I tap arrow left and arrow right, and it's gonna update the thing. So that's really this is really fun to do. Where's our text? That's our text. So there we go. That's generating something. You can just keep doing it. Whoops, I just baked in the same place. Delete, update, and bake. You could, if you know, if you've been following LiveNoding, you can also you can perhaps control the position of this locator using animation nodes, and then you can kind of randomize the position of this guy, and then baking it on every frames, and that can be fun to do. So yeah, this is creating like something that looks like a web actually. It's very Spider-Man like. you just position the start point, and then you just update it, and you kind of shoot a web. Yeah, that's it's really fun. It's kind of creating the neural kind of writing, maybe a little bit more. So one more over here. Update and bake. You can do it from, you can shoot it from the inside, but this is fun. Oh yeah, I forgot we haven't added the tropism. The tropism can give a kind of more natural looking result. Let's do that real quick. Vector in. This is gonna be the gravity. Let's say minus 0.4. Just plug it into tropism. Now it's kind of settling down. The line is more natural. Save, bake. Let's make this bigger. Do a couple more. Update and bake. So there you go. Let's kill this for now. So we start from nothing, and then we have nothing in the scene except for this bunch of neural looking objects. We can join them. They are currently a mesh. You can add a thickness somehow. What's the best way to do it? Really, you can use Verchock as well. So this is the 3 generator setup. Have another Verchock, and then use pipe. Pipe can be slow, or you can use the skin modifier. Skin modifier even it's gonna be slower, but that's alright. You can, if you want to do it really fast, you can turn it into a curve, and then just add a thickness, turn this to full, and then extrude and add a little bit of depth. This will actually render, so it's very spider-like kind of design. It has some kind of thickness now. With the curve, you actually can have something really funky. Instead of having it like this, this is a Blender curve. You can rotate it minus 90 degrees, for example. Rotate it like this, and then apply location, rotation, scale. And I believe if you just switch from 3D to 2D, it's gonna be a, now you have like a 2D text. Believe it or not, this 2D text can also be handy. Now I can extrude it, offset it, depth, maybe not depth. I think there's some options that 2D curve have, but 3D curve doesn't have. Fill deform, stretch. I forgot, but basically you can have it like that. So this is the curve deleted. So back to the mesh, you can use pipe. So if I object mesh in, objects in, this might crash. might crash Blender, but try vertices, edges in, and then the vertices, the size can be 0.035. Plug in the vertices. Now it's gonna do some calculations. Viewer, draw vertices, and now it's calculating. And size can be 0.006. And it calculates. All right, so you can kind of see the result. Plug in the poly, another calculation. So this it's getting heavier. This basically, if you're doing this, you're kind of nearly kind of finalizing your design. Normally though, in 3D, you try to be like efficient, and normally you don't want to have this so many points. You can simplify the points, and that's the result we're getting. Very messy, because maybe pipe is not a good one to use. Maybe we can tidy up the design a little bit. So let's kill that. We can simplify this guy probably. Let's use decimate. Decimate is good. Ratio. Modifier requires more than 3 input faces. Okay, so this only works for proper polygon mesh. Maybe interpolate, vector interpolation might be the one you need. Never know, this might not work. Selection. Random or range. Range float count 100. Plug this in. Yeah. Maybe that's one way to do it. It's kind of really gets really messy now. But you know what? You might be able to use this point to generate the second options for the neuro. Yeah, so we can do that, or let's hide this guy and then let's get back to the original. So okay, with this guy, we want to create points. We kind of want to scatter points inside this guy, so we can use particles. Okay, particles, start and end, 1 1, volume, increase the it's gonna be grid, increase the resolution. So that's what we want. 50 is maximum, that's okay. Randomize it slightly. So that's gonna be our points to generate like a kind of like a tree or like a new row. This is like, imagine like particles inside our brain, and we want to generate some complex tree-like design. And I believe we can just apply the particle. apply particle I forgot here. Oh well, I'm just gonna turn the particles into mesh using animation nodes. So particles, I should have saved this objects, particles from objects, save. I always start from scratch, but normally it's a good idea to save the nodes tree and reusing it to save time. So this is getting the particles from that object, and you want the particles, filter the particles, get just the alive particle that's alive, and then particles info, particle list info, just grab it. Now the location is going to be our points, mesh, so mesh, object output, plug this in, turn on, turn on the mesh data, plug the locations, and generate the target. Now we have the points. Yeah, all those steps. Let's stop these calculations. Okay, now we're back. We don't need to see this anymore, we just need the points. Now these points probably still, we can still tell it's saying neuro, I guess. Doesn't matter. Now we're back to, let's get back to virtual tree generator setup. Let's now grab these points, these points, get selection, so that's the target. And where is our empty? There is this guy right here. Let's plug this in there. Now it should be generating something. Plug the edges. Plug in the edges. There we go. Oh, I didn't turn on that points. Either have the points only or the edges. Maybe the edges. So this is gonna generate that complex looking tree view from the front, and orthographic. Now we are ready to rock. If I play the playback, okay, still a little bit too slow, so I'm not gonna do that. But if I'm not recording and I'm using the more powerful computer, this will be really fast. I can just place the points there. I move this, and I can generate that, and then move it there. Bake there. Bake. You know, kind of like what we are doing previously, but maybe I should do it slightly different now. That's one way we can approach it. Maybe we can pick random points from this guy itself. So if we are using the empty and the positions and then generate it like that, we can cut this, and let's grab the points from this guy itself, from the target itself. Let's get a vector item, let's list item, and let's have a viewer draw. Pipe in the data into there, and check the item, and you can see that's the points we are looking. Let's make it bigger and have like a red color. So that's a dot right there. That's a item we are selecting, but we can pick any 3 points from there. Maybe let's see. Maybe that's one. Script. So that's one. Let's grab another one from there. That's 2. I think we can actually just type it in. So formula. If I just type in like 100, plug it in there. See, it's looking at item number 100 from all these target points. So let's try 150. If I say like 100, and then 300, 500, 600, 500. I have 3, maybe 580, and one more 650, and another one is 750. So I have few points, and so I can just plug this in. So I was hoping that it will start generating something. Might not work. Might need to change the level. Maybe I need to do list join or list flip. So list join, put that in, try, join level, so that. Viewer draw, let's use stethoscope. Check the item. Let's use text viewer. Viewer text. Plug this in. View. And use text editor. Stretch of viewer. So we have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me try something. If I use a random points, random vector, and if I generate some points, 6 points, and then plug this in, check. It's kind of right. It should actually work if I plug this in. So if I plug this into that guy and we compare, yeah, I think this should work. It's not doing anything. Let me try that again. 6. What if I plug this in there and bake it? And we have these points. And then I will just grab it, get selection, and plug in there. Still not happy. Interesting. Apparently, if the point is in the same position, it doesn't like it. Anyhow, maybe we can randomize it. Vector. Randomize input vertices. So randomize it slightly. Plug that. Now we have something here. So it cannot be in the same position. So that's something new. So I'm drawing this tree now. I have a feeling that sometimes it's the tree generator is only kind of iterating only a few times. It doesn't do it all the way. So if I give it a value like 0.5 and we now it's kind of covering everything, but it's a bit too ragged, you know. Maybe 0.2. Point 3, point there. Just a little bit too random. Well, this is maybe just an idea. Okay, you can do it like that. Don't worry. Maybe our text is too fat or something. But I'm gonna get back that empty, plug in there, and let's do it like before. Just gonna place this guy in there. Now let's see, maximum branch 50, branch length 0.1, slightly better, a little bit too structured. It's funny that it's doing that. That's okay. maybe tropism is a good idea. Vector in and minus 0.6 into the tropism. Now it's a little bit more natural. I have a feeling that I randomized the particles too much, but that's okay. Let's now generate the final look. It's using the skin measure. Let's plug in the vertices in there, the edges, and the radius. Branch ready, go inside the radius, and turn on light modifier. And we should be getting a result. That's kind of more like a 3D. Okay, it's done. There you go. That's our tree looking structure. Now I can continue. This sort of just modify by removing or adding it. I wonder if I just sorry, I shouldn't have turned that off, but you kind of get the idea. It's gonna generate the structure that's more 3D while still, and the effects is still alive. So what? Wait a couple of seconds. Okay, now we got this guy. I should make a duplicate of it. I just shift D. It's a bit slow because what happened is Blender is recalculating the skin modifier for the edges being generated. Okay, now we're done. Good. Let's turn off this guy. We can move to the next one. And then update. Okay, gonna save this. It seems like a little bit slow process, but the result is really nice. So yeah, I think maybe I'm not using the right type of font. We're kind of getting something that's a little bit too abstract. But yeah, you get the idea. If you have maybe the font needs to be larger, or the particles need to be just less random. So that's done already. Let's get back to properties. Select that guy. Property. Apply the skin modifier. And continue on with our empty, and keep moving over there. Updates. you could actually kind of okay, I lost that guy somewhat. You could like connect one route to another. That makes everything more connected, and you can definitely come out with a nice looking like a 3D text in the end. So I might probably try to recreate this in my own time, but anyhow, you got the idea. This is another look at the tree generator, Spreadshock, and then how you can potentially use it to generate 3D typography. So give this a try and use like a different font and see what you can come up with. You can leave a comments if you miss anything and you have question. You can give me suggestion as well. Okay, thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.